Today I'm talking about motivation in sport. Motivation definition. Gill in 1986 came up with the definition of a drive to fulfill a need. Scenario 1. Hugo is a footballer. Hugo starts on the bench for Ascot FC, which discourages him. Hugo's coach feels like he doesn't put in enough effort at training. However, the conditions and facilities that Hugo trains in affects his performance and ability. Hugo believes he will not improve in these conditions. This relates to a social learning theory because it is depending on his environment. Furthermore, Hugo starts on the bench for Ascot FC, and this discourages him. If this becomes a weekly occurrence, then Hugo will get a negative mindset and will be less likely to come to the club. This is called learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is a constant belief of not being good enough. Furthermore, this links to attribution theory by Werner in 1982. Hugo is blaming the poor conditions and facilities to him having a bad performance, which is an external factor. However, it is affecting his ability, which is an internal factor. Hugo might be playing badly, which is an internal factor, but because he doesn't want to fail, he is blaming on the external factor. This is the table to support the attribution theory. So internal unstable is ability, external unstable is coaching, internal unstable is effort, and external unstable is luck. The attribution theory suggests that winning is due to internal factors such as ability, effort, and practice. However, on the other hand, if there is failure, they will attribute to external factors such as task difficulty, teamwork, and officials to protect their ego, because they are driven by their reputation. Furthermore, learnt helplessness links to the attribution theory. Learnt helplessness is a state of mind where you feel hopeless and it is inevitable that you will fail. Scenario 2. Amy plays tennis. Amy is number 2 seed in her club. She often compares herself to the number 1 seed Rachel. The comparison between Amy and Rachel has driven Amy to perfect her serve to give herself an advantage over Rachel. However, when she serves incorrectly, her coach encourages her with additional technique practice at the end of each session. Also, her coach recommends she watches elite athletes such as Serena Williams to encourage and motivate her. Amy is number 2 seed in her team, in her tennis club. At her tennis club, she always compares herself to the number 1 seed Rachel. This links to achievement goal theory because she is always comparing herself to others. Additionally, by comparing yourself to others, you will develop high expectations of yourself. In order for Amy to perform better, her coach has set her a goal, which is to improve her serve. The achievement goal theory suggests if someone sets you a goal, you'll be more motivated to achieve it. In this case, Amy is driven to succeed on mastering her serve down to a fine art, which links to task mastery. Task mastery is when you perfect a skill to a fine art. Amy also has trait in achievement goal theory. She is driven within a sport and outside sport, which relates to the trait. Additionally, her coach sets her a motivational climate by giving her extra support and encouraging Amy to compare herself to elite athletes and to learn for the best. Achievement goal theory. The achievement goal theory was suggested by Duda in 1988, and it suggests that if someone sets you a goal, you will be more motivated. There are 2 types of goals. The first one is task mastery, and this is where you perfect a certain skill, for example, a 40-yard pass in football, and perfect it down to a fine art. This is an intrinsic motivation because it is personally rewarding. The second type is ego, and this is comparing yourself to others or teammates. You will develop high expectations of yourself to perform to the standard and to the ability of others. A task-oriented individual is more likely to put high effort in when failing and believes success is gained through hard work and cooperation, in comparison to an ego-driven individual who reduces efforts when failing and will be more likely to drop out. For example, a captain is more likely to be task-orientated and lead the team because he has to lead the team, and he can't drop out because he has to give the team motivation and set an example to the other teammates. Achievement Motivation Theory. The achievement motivation theory by Atkinson in 1964 suggests that the individual will thrive off of positive and negative feedback. They enjoy accomplishing challenging goals. Achievement motivation is defined as behaviors dedicated to developing and demonstrating higher abilities. The achievement motivation theory has two sides to it: a natch side, a need to achieve, and a need to avoid failure. The characteristics of a natch individual is they like a challenge. And a NAF individual is someone who needs to avoid failure. The characteristics of a natch individual is they like a challenge and they will respond well to feedback, whether it be positive or negative, and is not afraid to fail compared to a NAF individual. A NAF individual doesn't take risks to avoid failure. Often, the NAF individual gives up and doesn't want feedback. To improve your levels of natch, you should ensure that tasks are challenging, ensure goals are achievable, and ensure that the probability of success is high. To reduce NAF, you should focus negative feedback on effort rather than ability. Furthermore, this will reduce the risk and severity of learned helplessness. And that is my presentation on motivation in sports.